Hello, what's up, everyone? Good morning. It's your host, Carlos Ponce, and this is another live episode of Advancio Talks. And if you're just discovering us, well, welcome. But if you've been here since the very beginning, since 2022, well, you know what we are about. So, Adventure Talks is where we sit down with people actually building the future of business and technology,
Mhm,
not just talking about it, but doing it.
mhm.
CTOs, founders, the folks actually making decisions that matter. So, whether you're drinking coffee, commuting, or just curious about what's actually happening in tech and business. So stick around because today we've got Nick Rustad here in the show, founder of FirstContact.ai with us today. Welcome, Nick, to the show.
Mhm. Yeah, thank
Uh,
you.
sure. Well, Nick's got stories and insights you won't hear anywhere else. So
Mhm.
let's jump right in. So, Nick, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
So, great, Nick. Let's start with you, of course. Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about you, background, your story. Tell us anything. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I am in Minnesota, born and raised here in Minnesota. Grew up in northern Minnesota on a small hobby farm and got into music and loved music. And then that kind of brought me into tech because music and tech, kind of sometimes go together
Hmm.
because it's all based on math.
Right.
And went to school and studied organizational behavior, business psychology, and got my MBA. And then worked really hard and grew my career from an IT help desk position at the Pillsbury company all the way up to an IT director. And then I got laid off and I didn't know what to do. I had never been fired, written up, put on a performance plan, nothing. And so I was devastated. And I thought, we're going to turn this, we have to pivot.
Hmm.
So I started two companies. I started a coaching practice called CoreTactic, and I started my CRM company called FirstContact.ai. And they are married together. Not a lot of CRM companies provide business coaching and helping entrepreneurs grow.
Hmm.
So I provide business coaching to my clients, and that's the core tactics side of the house. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting trying to run two businesses, but we're slowly actually going to be merging both organizations together because of the synergy of both of
Right.
them. So yeah, and thank you for having me on, Carlos. I
No,
appreciate it.
absolutely. It's our pleasure. I was looking forward to this conversation because
Mm,
what you're doing is very closely tied to a lot of the things that I'm doing on the sales and marketing side as well. I got other things that I do, but it's not about me. It's about you. Today it's your show. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about First Contact AI. I mean, what is the value proposition? What was the
Mhm.
genesis? And how did it come about? Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah. Well, when you start a business, you get all excited about these tools we're going to use. I got to
Right.
sign up for a Zoom account and get my email and my domain and my website and all these things. And I had like six different things. And so every day I was logging into all these different websites, trying to hold everything together. And I didn't know my customer journey. I didn't know the complete customer journey. What do
Mhm.
my customers experience from prospect to sale to rolling them off and they're no longer a customer, that whole life cycle. So I built FirstContact.ai because it can help me see that entire journey by combining all the tools that I was using into one platform.
Mhm.
I was spending probably about, I don't know, $600-700 a month on all of these things, these tools, DocuSign for contracts, and all these other things. I don't know if I should be mentioning any of those other tools, but
That's okay.
we've all used them.
That's fine.
Yeah. And I needed something easier because I'm by myself, solopreneur when I started, and it was a nightmare. I didn't want to have to hire a team to manage all of this stuff, all of these things.
Mhm.
So got onto the platform, and I was the first one. You got to eat your own dog food, so
Right.
I was the first one there, and it drastically reduced friction. Meaning, I didn't have to go hunt and find things. I didn't have to try to remember how to log into certain things, and it also reduced my cost because I had one payment to make every month, and it was a much lower payment, much lower payment. So
Mhm.
Um, and yes, I do pay a subscription on my own platform. So I am a customer of our own platform because I want to experience what that's like for our customers. So,
Yeah, of
and then
course.
the AI in the system has helped automate a lot of the functions that I have had to do manually, like following up, booking appointments, prospecting, trying to find leads while you sleep
Mhm.
is one of our big calling cards that why customers love us. So,
Right, right.
yeah.
So yeah, and that's interesting. What I'm hearing is that, I mean, I get the impression that you bootstrap the company, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is my assumption correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the reason I thought of bootstrapping the company when I was listening to you, and it's there's a suite that's called Zoho that they also put a
Mhm.
bunch of things together, and they solved a real problem in one single business unit, and
Yeah.
they also bootstrapped the company. It was a much healthier decision
Mhm.
in terms of the finances of the company. So yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
let's talk about yeah, of course we're going to be I'm going to be having more questions about specifically first contact AI and how uh, it intertwines with the everyday activities of a company, whether it be it a solopreneur or a larger company.
Mhm.
Uh, which, by the way, is it what is your your target market? I mean, who are
Mhm.
you selling these first contact AI to mainly?
Yeah.
Is that I think that's important to know,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, exactly. We are our kind of our sweet spot is working with entrepreneurs and helping them to streamline operations initially so they can grow quickly. If we can
Hmm.
reduce complexity and help them save money, we can help them grow. And we want them to grow with us. So we invest a lot of time and energy into those customers. There are also customers that need some business coaching. They don't know what ROI is. What is a cog? What's revenue versus profit? What's forecasting? And so we teach them a lot about that stuff while we also have the CRM, which we call our business operating system. So
Hmm.
it's kind of business in a box. You can get it up and running quite quickly within 2 days. So, and those smaller entrepreneurial situations are a passion of mine because I've been through it. Personally
Great.
started over 6 companies, and we're on the last two right now, the last two iterations that I've done. But I've been building companies and selling them, moving on and doing something else. I love
Ah,
working in the
so you're
yeah, love working in it for a
so
couple
you're
years, and then we see where it goes.
so you're what they call a serialpreneur.
Yes, I am. I love the game. I love the race. I love to see what we can do, and I love solving problems.
Awesome. You're my kind of people,
Yeah.
definitely. So let's talk about. Okay, so thank you for elaborating on
Mhm,
that. But we chose a topic
mhm,
for today that is, I mean, it's related to what you're doing with your company. And the topic that we chose for today is that you chose actually. It's AI
mhm,
sells while you sleep. So how small businesses
mhm.
finally get enterprise CRM
Yeah.
power. Okay, so let's start there. I'd like to ask you why you feel this is a relevant topic for today's day and
Mm.
age in the business world.
Yeah, it is a extremely relevant topic. If you are a larger organization and you go with Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot, a lot of these other platforms, it can take a long time to get them implemented. Entrepreneurs that are bootstrapping don't have the time. They need to hit the ground running. They need to get a customer right away within 30 to 40 days in order for them to be successful. So they can keep reinvesting in their company. Now, the AI component is extremely valuable. We have a
Mhm.
specialized tool called AI prospecting, and it goes out and it finds leads for you. And it can do that 24 hours a day based on the niche of the customer you're looking for. So, if you want to work with clinics, let's say chiropractic clinics and health clinics, med spas, we can target those markets in certain geographical ranges, and it will bring in all of their information and what we call enrichment. It'll find their names, phone numbers, emails, stories about their company, kind of their descriptions, their address, all of that. And then the AI takes
Mhm.
that information and can do hyper personalization, meaning it'll start doing outreach through phone, SMS, and email, and even on social platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and sends them very highly personalized messages. We are all special. And the marketing that we do to people has to be special in order to get their attention. And we have to meet our customers where they're at. And the only way to do that is to really do hyper personalization.
Hmm.
We're going to see a lot more of that trend growing and growing and growing as we see changes in the marketing kind of realm.
Hmm.
We all have fatigue also with marketing. And so we
Right.
have to innovate. We have to get their attention. We have to figure out how we can make that relationship and build it up and build the trust right away.
Hmm.
So our tool does a lot of that work, and it's pretty powerful.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
seems like it. I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's definitely something that I'd be like interested and willing to try out. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's keep the conversation going. So, all right. So I'm curious as to whether there's a specific, let's say, space or vertical or segment that is more might be more receptive to what you're offering here, or is it
Mhm.
like, or what is like what does the market look like in terms of adoption, for example, who's adopting
Mhm.
your solution more easily? So have you spotted that part?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah, that's a really great question. Now, our customers are in 4 different countries, primarily.
okay?
We have everybody from a, steel manufacturing fabrication company all the way to different coaches, life coaches. We have lawyers and doctors and all sorts of people.
Hmm.
The customers and kind of the vertical or the segment that we like to work with are people that are curious,
Hmm.
and they're passionate, and they become obsessed. People that are obsessed about their business, they're working long hours, they're doing everything they can to keep it going. Those people are successful. And so we try to attract that kind of type of clientele. They're also curious about AI. And here's the interesting thing about AI. It is going to vastly accelerate human evolution in terms of technology 10 years in 1 year. So we are going to be speeding up what we can develop and create because of AI.
Hmm.
And if you're not using it, you're already behind. So
Yeah.
I've run into several.
Just give me one quick second. Sorry about that.
I've run into several companies that they're like, I'm not going to use AI. It's just going to, take away our jobs, and it's always wrong. But you know what? Your competitors are using it. Entrepreneurs are using it, making millions of dollars. New products, new services are being developed through AI. It's quite critical that you get in there and start using it, because if you're not, you're going to fall behind. And we want to make sure that all of our customers, when they start a business, they're inimitable, meaning they're extremely hard to copy. And if you leverage AI, you're doing hyper personalization, you're meeting your customer where they're at, you're developing new skills, products, and services, it's going to make you extremely hard to copy, which
Right.
means the competition, they're not going to have a chance. Um, the Back in the 90s or early 2000, I think a lot of people were like, I'm just going to set up a website. I'm going to
Mm.
be rich,
Uh-huh.
sell my widgets. Yeah, that doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
I still get some customers that think that, but AI can help us grow. It can help you have a CFO, a COO, a CIO with you, because it will provide that knowledge and information. And the strategy is key. But how you use AI is also really important. AI is kind of dumb. You can't just you can't walk in and say,
It's just
build me a website. You know,
yeah. To be
yeah.
very,
Is
very,
there a
very,
question there?
very specific, or else you
Yeah,
risk just
you have
getting
to be very.
a poor outcome. So that's where human
Yeah.
intelligence comes in, right?
Yep,
So
human intelligence. Yeah, for sure. Good point.
absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the operation. Here's what I understand from what I'm from the conversations we've had.
Mhm.
You're running two companies simultaneously, Tactic and
Mhm.
First Contact AI. So, what is the story that connects coaching and vision?
Mm. Yeah. I After I got laid off in, I think it was 2022, I kind of forgot about that that period of time. But after I got laid off, I got into coaching right away, and I started doing career coaching. I've been a leader. I've hired and
Mhm.
fired thousands of people. Unfortunately, I've had to fire thousands of people, but I've learned so much about career and how to get people going. And so that kind of took off. And then I started thinking about businesses. I want to get people going on businesses. Maybe they don't want to go back to the corporate grind. Um, they're done playing that game, that political game. So then I got into business coaching, and I was setting up websites and helping coach people on how to develop products and services and sell them. And then I thought, what's the next evolution of this? Well, they're going to need a CRM. They're going to need an operating system to help run their business that they're building. So then it just kind of was a natural fit. And right now I'm working on building a complete ecosystem for my clients.
Mhm.
So not only do we help with coaching and the technology, but we also help them with additional services if they need it. So they don't have to go anywhere else. Let's make it simple. Starting a business can suck. It can be horrible sometimes and scary. And so after all the stuff that I've learned with coaching and business, it's been great, and it's a perfect fit. So
Right.
I think it was all meant to be.
All meant to be. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I mean, there's just projects that I have been involved in, and which, as you say, you just feel it. It's meant to be,
Hmm.
and some others are not meant to be, and then just fade away, right? For
Yeah.
the sake of our mental health. I've been there too, so yeah, I relate. By the
Hmm.
way, here's something interesting. You mentioned uh, 2 decades of leadership expertise, right?
Hmm.
Um, so, what was the moment you realized that the tools that businesses were using to manage customer relationships were fundamentally broken?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that out there. People buy that Salesforce pill, and they think it's going to make their business grow.
Hmm.
The time to market is what's critical. If you wait too long to get to market, your competitors probably have figured out what you're doing, and they're already doing it. Now, a good buddy of mine just rolled out Salesforce at his organization. It's going to take 6 months to set that system up to provide the level of service for their customers. And they're going to spend 10,000 a month on licensing, which is insane. And no small business could leverage that. But
Hmm.
our platform has all the same capabilities at a much lower price point, and we can get you going from nothing to making a dollar, being able to bill somebody in 2 days.
Hmm.
That's what's critical, and that's what's critical for small business. They don't have the money to spend. My initial seed investment was $30,000 to get our business going, and that sounds like a lot of money, but it didn't last very long.
Hmm.
When you get into all of the things that you have to buy. And so now we try to work with customers to make sure that they don't have to go through that craziness.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Craziness. So
Craziness.
you mentioned, and you also mentioned, people getting just Salesforce, for example. You mentioned. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking you have Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho. The CRM market is crowded.
Mhm.
So what is the specific gap in the market that you saw that none of those players were filling for specifically for small business and entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Carlos. Who helps companies get on those platforms?
Who helps companies get on those platforms?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Never thought of it. I don't
Tech
know.
consultants, technical consultants come in.
Okay, okay.
So you say, I'm going to go with Salesforce. They send in their team of 30 tech people, maybe a
Uh-huh.
project manager, but none of them have business experience. They can
Mhm,
follow a list and say, okay, you're going to need a website. but how do they orchestrate the website so that it actually gets conversions? They don't
Mhm.
have that.
Right.
And a lot of companies have pain points. They know their customer satisfaction is really low, so they say, "Oh, I'm just going to push a button, just install it, fix the problem."
Right.
But they lose sight of the people and the process. So what I care about is technology, people, and process. All three have to work together in order for a good solution,
Mhm.
especially if you want to provide excellent customer service to your people, to your customers.
Right.
If you lose sight of the process and training your people to use the tool, it's worthless. Now, these huge platforms are also extremely complex. So there is a time, it could take up to a month to get somebody fully trained on it. Well, I think that's a bunch of hoo ha. So that's what we say in Minnesota, hoo ha. If we're not going to swear, we say hoo ha. But it's awful. You don't have time to wait. You're wasting and burning so much money. If you standardize on a platform that's much easier to use, much more simplified, yet still as powerful, it's so much more valuable for you.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but these tech consultants, they come in, they don't know how to calculate ROI. They don't know how to figure out your TCO, your total cost of ownership. They have
Mhm.
no clue. And they're just walking down a punch list. Oh, we got to push this. Okay, Johnny, turn that on. Okay, that's on. Okay, Bob, now turn that on. Okay, we got that. That's all they do. And then they walk away and they leave you.
Yeah,
And
they're more
customers are,
focused. Yeah, they're
yeah,
more focused on the implementation side of the equation, right?
yeah, exactly. And I've been on those teams. I have
Oh,
been that tech person.
okay.
And I've watched the ship sink.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden you get on a call and they say, "We've spent $500,000 on consulting with you. What have we got?"
Right.
And we'll say, "Well, you got a new car." Okay. How
Mhm.
do how do I drive it? How do I fix it? How do I enhance it? No clue.
Yeah,
So that's the thing that we can help with the business coaching, which
that's
is
great. No, yeah,
critical.
that's definitely great. That's
Mhm.
definitely when you add that element of we're not just here to implement something technically, but we're also going to coach you on how to use it properly and why to use it mainly,
Yeah,
right? So that's
exact
awesome.
that's a
So,
great point, is the why, for sure.
or the why
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, so I mean, we have limited time, so there's something that I want to talk. I mean, talk with you about, which
Yeah.
is I'd like to get under the hood, take a look under the hood, because
Mhm.
after all, this is a technical. There's some technology behind this solution.
Mhm.
So let's take a quick look,
Yeah.
under the hood. So building an AI platform or AI native platform from the
Mhm.
ground up, I think, is a massive technical undertaking. So,
Mhm.
what is the biggest architectural decisions that you've had to make early on that shaped everything else?
Yeah. That is an excellent question, and it's a constant challenge for anybody developing software. We have to design software so it can work with grandmas and grandpas. It can
Mhm,
work with 20-year-olds right out of college. It can work with 40, 50-year-olds that are maybe approaching the end of their careers. It has to work with people that aren't technical. It also has to work with people that are extremely technical.
mhm,
And so the biggest thing, there are really two things that I really had my team focus on. The first one is usability. It has to be easy to use.
mhm,
People will change when change is easier than staying the same. People
okay,
will change when change is easier than staying the same. So if we can make it a better solution for them and easy to use, that's critical. And so that was something that we thought a lot about when designing the platform. The other thing is it has to be powerful and diverse enough to help any audience, from insurance brokers to coaches to law firms to clinics. It has to have all the components. It also has to have all the security.
mhm,
So we're ISO 27001 certified. We are SOC 2 compliant. We are
mhm,
HIPAA compliant. We are GDPR compliant. Those things have to be in place as well. And making sure that you have all that compliance and those regulations followed is also really critical.
mhm,
And the last thing I'll say is that there's a lot of techies out there that want to get in and they want to do
mhm.
some really cool things. Well, we allow you to build your own AI agents from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
completely from scratch. And we have an environment that doesn't, you don't have to know coding to do it. It's a drag and drop kind of environment. So
Yeah.
for those, we call them techno weenies, those techno weenies that want to get in there and really learn how it all works. We allow them to do that. We also have MCP, so we can integrate AI with pretty much any other system. If you want it connected into the MPLS for realtors, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the extensibility is what I call it, or elasticity of features has to be there for
Mm-hmm.
customers, and that's really what kind of makes the design work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nick, you have a background in IT modernization and
Mhm.
business transformation. So how did that, how did that lens influence the way you designed First Contact AI,
Mm.
particularly around how it integrates with existing tech stacks?
Yeah, integration is critical. That's always the first question I would get asked on a project. Is, well, can it work with this? And if you say no, well, that's a deal breaker for some people because they already have existing technology. Everybody has existing technology.
Right.
And we don't want to walk in and tell them their baby's ugly and you got to get rid of it all. What we want to do is we want to say, this is good, but let's bring this in to make it even better. And so we can integrate with over 7,000 apps using platforms like Zapier, Make.com, and N8N, plus the integrations that are built into the platform itself that are native to the platform, like
Mm-hmm.
connecting to your social media advertising accounts, like your Facebook Meta ad account, your QuickBooks. We can even integrate with Zoho and Notion and these other platforms natively.
Yeah.
Now, from a consulting standpoint, one of the highlights of my career was working at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And we helped to roll out Azure for the foundation so they could work on curing polio.
Mm.
And that was one of my last big projects. And that really made me think like, wow, they don't want us just to turn it on. We got to turn it on and make sure it's set up the right way, make sure it integrates with everything globally, because they have scientists around the world that are analyzing statistics and figuring out if we put $50 million here, is it going to make an impact?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important that the tech support that. And so that really kind of helped me bridge technology with business operations and strategy. Really, really important stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Nick, we're coming up on time,
Mhm.
and I only have time for one more question, and I think it's a relevant question, kind of encompasses a lot of what we're talking about today. Let's say if a development company, or let's say a tech startup or whatever, is listening right now, and they're still managing their pipeline in, let's say, a spreadsheet or a legacy CRM.
Mhm.
What's the first thing that you would tell them?
Mm. The first question I always ask is, what's your customer journey?
Mm,
What have
okay.
your customers experienced? How did they find you? What website did they click on? What form did they fill out?
Mhm.
And they'll say, I have no idea. So if they don't know, how can they market to prospects
Mhm.
effectively? How can they sell and continue to upsell their existing clients? They're not going to know what they've done or what they've, where they've been.
Yeah.
And so that's the big thing, is the customer journey. In our system, there's a panel on the right side of the screen with the contact record, and on the right side it says everything that that customer did, every
Mhm.
form they clicked, every meeting they had, every bill they've paid, all of it. And then the AI can use that to make sure that we're personalizing the right way
Mhm.
with people, even giving them maybe a little thing about their weather and their location,
Yeah.
anything to kind of help out.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Nick, well, we're out of time, but I don't wanna leave without asking you for any final parting words, or words of wisdom, as we call them.
Mhm.
So, what would you tell the audience? What would you like to tell the audience about your company, anything? This is your moment. So, how would you
Mhm.
like viewers to remember you by? Final words.
Yeah. Number one, make sure your business is hard to copy. Make sure you have a special niche.
Hmm.
There's too many life coaches out there. What makes you special? Why would I hire you? The other thing that I tell all my clients is be your own customer first. Find a competitor and hire them. See what they
Wow.
do. Copy it.
Yeah.
And the third thing is don't sit and pick at your website. Change it every 5 seconds. You're not your customer. So you need data. We need to put stuff out into the world, see how people respond to it, and then keep adjusting for the good stuff and make it even better.
Great. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, Nick, it's been a great pleasure having this show. Unfortunately, we need to wrap up, but I need to ask you first of all, how can for those of you who are watching now or will be watching in the future in the recorded versions, so how can people get a hold of you? How can you be reached?
Yeah, you can find me on all the social media platforms, LinkedIn specifically. Feel free to send me a message. And there's my LinkedIn address at the bottom of the
It's right
screen.
there, right?
Yeah,
So the LinkedIn is Nicholas
T
Rustad.
Rustad. Yep. And
T.
that's, yeah.
Okay, so there's a T in the middle. Okay,
Yep.
great,
And
simple.
then, and my email is nick@firstcontact.ai.
Would that
Uh,
be Nick at, there it is, folks, you have it,
mhm.
Nick at firstcontact.ai.
Yep.
And what about I mean, I assume there's a website, and I think it should be
Yep.
this one, right?
Yep.
Great,
Firstcontact.ai. If they click the demo, schedule a demo button, they'll get to meet me personally.
great,
So I still do demos. I still am connected with customers. I want to meet with all of them at least once a month. And so would love to chat with you about your business problem and see how we can fix it.
excellent. So
Mhm.
there you have it, folks. It's right here. All the main thing is you go to the website, click on there in the demo, and Nick's going to be right there for you. So, Nick, it's been a great pleasure to have you on the show. And for those of you who are watching, remember that every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, we have conversations with those who are actually creating the future of technology and business. So
Mhm.
stick around and stay tuned on advancio.com, which is the show's sponsor right here.
Mhm.
Just go there and you'll see all the upcoming shows and the past ones also listed in there. Just take a peek and mark your calendars. So that being said, Nick, thank you for having been with us in the show,
Yeah.
and the rest and everybody else. See you next Wednesday right here on Advancio Talks.
Thank you
Until
for having me.
next time, yes, and Nick, stay with me as we go off the air, and the rest of you, see you next time.